All right. So consider us live, even though it might not show up yet.
This is nice.
All right, guys, we are officially live. It's Ted Bogert with the home team version of the TED Show. Super excited to have my friends, my teammates. These guys are awesome. Bryan Cohen and Juan Santana on the show today. What's happening,
Yeah.
guys?
Thank you, Ted. Thank you. Oh, fantastic. Feeling
I'm
great.
very excited to have you guys on here. It's good to see your faces. I'm also going to do the same thing as you and share for a second. But while I'm looking that up, why don't you tell them a little bit about you? And I'll start with Juan. Juan, tell them a little bit about you, what you do, and kind of how you got to the home team. That would be a good
Okay.
start.
Yeah, sure. My name again is Juan Santana. I'm one of the branch managers here at the home team, Freedom Mortgage. We're in the New York area. Um, how I got to the home team, that's a great question. I started doing mortgages back before the Great Recession, before 2008. Um, Tried out the mortgage stint. As you know, the rest is history. 2008 came, it was difficult to stay in. And then I met Brian and Brandon through family functions. And throughout the years, I've known them throughout the years, or we see them in all the family functions, and we always had a conversation of whether it's a right move to go back into the mortgage sphere, if not. And one day, Brian and Brandon, we had a conversation and said, "Listen, this might be the right time for you to come back." And I came in as a loan officer at the time. It was
It was
just
the best day of your life.
That's the best day.
absolutely
There's
yes.
Brian. See, this is discussion.
I love, listen, I still love a lot of my coworkers. I used to work with the Department of Labor. Shout out to all of them. Hello to all of them if they're watching. But that day was literally the second best day. It's probably around the same time my daughter was born. So that was definitely a beautiful time.
And you did something before, as you said, mortgages. What'd you do before mortgages?
In between the first mortgage and then and home team, I was working for the federal government. I was actually an investigator for the Department of Labor.
Yeah.
I did a lot of non-discrimination investigation for in the workplace. So that was fun and interesting. It was great serving the community, great giving back, but nothing compared to what we're able to do here now. And once that happened, everything changed, worked. And Brian and I, it's like imagine, both of us being brothers from a different mother, literally, right?
I can see the resemblance.
It's a great marriage.
Yeah,
a
we were in
great
the same
marriage.
office, dealing with the same people, walking around, dealing with the same friends. We were already knew each other through family.
How about you, Brian? Tell us about you.
Yeah, Bryan Cohen, branch manager, New York area. Almost 15 years in the mortgage business. Always a salesperson. Helped from the beginning stages. There was about four of us, and look at what we turned. There's always the vision with great leadership at the top. Juan and I knew each other for a while, and what was it, 3 years, 4 years? Where are we in our partnership, Juan?
4 years now.
I'm not good with anniversary dates, guys. I'm sorry.
4 years now. 4 years.
4 years. That's good.
Well,
Yeah.
we really complement each other really, really well. Work, share the same type of energy, and just like a happy marriage, good communication, and we get the results done.
Let's talk about that, because I think partnership is one of the topics we were going to cover. It's very, partnerships are difficult. I've been in them before. We're all married, so we know that's the ultimate partnership right there. So if you're working with people and it's work and it's money and it's stress and it's business, how did you guys maneuver in the beginning? Was it super smooth sailing, or did you set boundaries and structure when you first started?
Well, it all starts with trust. Can't have a partnership without trust.
Amen.
So we never had that issue, money, anything like that. We both knew we complemented each other well, and to get to where we wanted to go in our career, we needed each other, and the rest is history at this point, because we're rock, to say the least.
And Juan, how about you? Same perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the trust was literally the foundation of it all, right? You never have to think twice, never have to look back, never have to worry about anything. You go to sleep at night with worry-free, which is something that you always want to have in the back of your mind. And when you wake up, you feel motivated, and having that yin to the yang, right? The way that he moves and I move, it was a perfect complement to each other. It first started, you could tell when we first started hitting the real estate partnership offices and we were doing sales meetings. It was like, man, what are we doing? Why are we doing this, all the time? And, it became like they say in marriage, right? You finish each other's sentences. That's what happened.
And that's true. Like you can tell you all have that bond. But you keep mentioning, I want to ask, you keep mentioning yin to the yang. We complement each other. So who has what characteristics? Like Juan, how would you describe Bryan in the partnership? What are his strengths that he brings?
Oh man, nobody could say no to Bryan. Bryan's the man. Bryan has a swag. He just has that. People understand that Bryan really cares about the needs of the other person, whether it's the client, whether it's the referral partner, the friend, etc. People really connect with Bryan on a deeper level, and I hope that people also connect with me as well. But that's really what I feel like that's true, and it's true especially with our team, right? The team that we manage on a day to day. It's something that a bond that you'll never be able to replicate anywhere else, and that's something I'm very grateful to have someone like that can help me, help us with that and move forward. And it's just a genuine thing. You can't teach
that. Was great, Juan. I do. That was fantastic.
Having said that, all right, Bryan. How about you? What is?
How do you follow that up, Ted?
I don't know. I don't know. I thought I'd start with him first.
That's hard to follow up. I'll tell you this: at the point of my career and family, and family is the most important, right, for the both of us. We both wouldn't be where we're at and we both respect that immensely. So we have each other's back just like brothers should.
Love it. I think it's so important because I think partnerships, one of the reasons they fail is because they don't establish that trust in the beginning, and trust is everything in a partnership, in any kind of relationship. But it still doesn't mean that it's not a difficult thing. I think people need to understand you have to have it, but then you still want to maintain it. It has to be forefront of everything that you're doing. You have to remember that that's part of the tenets and the foundation of the relationship.
Correct.
You guys do so well. There's obviously humor involved. I was hoping one of you would say that, because I see you all interact, and it's sometimes like that skit, like an old married couple, but it's a good thing. It's positive.
It gets you through these long days.
The long days. You have to, right? You
need it.
You need it. All right. So tell me about, with this change, how is the quarantine and the lockdown and COVID-19, has that made any kind of impact on your partnership? How have you had to do things differently?
That's a great question.
We're really day to day, still same operation. Nothing's really changed on that side, more than just educating our referral partners and our obviously database with our clients, old clients, things of that, and keeping them up to speed. School Sales 101, we are educating more of what's going on right now.
Juan, how about you? What do you think?
No, I think it's actually driven us closer with partnerships, and also with the team, right? And also, like Bryan said, our clients and referral partners, that because you're not able to just drive somewhere and touch someone and say hello or interact, I think that it's even more important to communicate as much as possible, to make sure that we're all there, we're on the same page, and just keeping everybody apprised of what is going on, so that way everybody understands that we're all going through this together. Like, the whole world is going through this. It's not just a singular impact. It's not just a regional thing. So if we're all on the same page and we're all looking to work, it's a beautiful thing that's going on. Collaboratively, we come up with great ideas, the whole team, how to help each other out. I think it's becoming of the, just basics, right? Like we talked about earlier. Being in a room for 8 hours, you're like, oh my God, what else can I do just to do something different? Break the monotony, right? I think that you'll see a lot of that right now.
I think it's helped with you mentioned it earlier, Juan, the communication. Now you're really dependent on real communication where you're not in the same room, and you're having to kind of fine tune that and develop that a little more and create ways, because there's a lot of people. Like I'm a in front of. I like to touchy feely. I got to be around.
me and you both.
Yeah, and so this is all new territory, and I actually fought doing these Zoom calls, because I thought, how am I gonna still feel like I'm in touch with them, I'm close to them? But I have to tell you, it's the best thing that ever happened, because phone is one thing, but you can't see the person. I can't see you
Right.
react. Can't see your
Ted,
body language.
I could not agree more. Zoom is going to be in my life moving forward.
Yes,
I love it.
it's good stuff. Like I love being able to see you all. I love seeing you laugh and smile and talk about each other. You can't fake that, and it's the same as when you're in person. You can't really fake that kind of stuff. The body language is still there, and you can
Correct.
hear the care and see the person talk about it. Talk about what's going on industry. How has it changed the way you're doing business? You mentioned referral partners earlier, Bryan. The education's important, but are you feeling a slowdown? Are you feeling, what are you feeling people are doing and how they're acting, and what are you doing to try to help the situation?
There's so much uncertainty in the market right now. We're just continuing to educate on guideline changes, staying in touch with the these referral partners, and being the liaison and the rock that they need in the climate that we're in.
Great. Juan?
Wow, I like it. Straight to the point, right, Ted? Just
In and out.
Ah,
right for the gusto. Doesn't give an um, you know. That's a great point, Ted. Like what industry changes. You've seen it and you've heard it. Literally changing day by day, daily, weekly, and the biggest challenge I see is that those are that are able to adapt the fastest to industry change will have the easiest time in this transition. And we're just here to help our closest referral partners and friends and those who really need it to really make that change everlasting. One thing they always said growing up, there's four things, there's two things that are most important and secure in life, right? Death and taxes if you live in America. I believe the third is change. Change is inevitable. And if the more you fight,
That was nice. That
that was
was good.
good.
thank you,
That was
Brian.
good.
That's good, Juan.
Change is inevitable. You can't if you fight it, it'll be the worst thing you can do in your life. If you're able to just embrace it, look at the positive, have a glass full, and adapt to it as fast as you can, that's our goal. Is to help everyone in our circle adapt to this change as quickly as possible, be the resource, spread information as quickly as you can. So that way everybody at least we could be like Brian says, that rock.
Right.
Being that foundation is everything for them right now.
It's excellent.
True partner.
True partner. I think people, we were talking on an earlier show about leadership, and you all are both in a leadership role in the company, on the team. And I think we're seeing some leaders, not in our team, some leaders are crumbling because they don't have that ability to adapt. They're not sure how to be relationship oriented rather than transactional. And you all are great examples of that. Jimmy and Brandon are great examples of that. Everybody up the chain and freedom.
Thank you.
Just examples of being all relationship driven rather than transactional. Yes, we all want to make money. That's what we do our work and we want to get paid. But the most important thing is that relationship. We want to establish it. We want to maintain it. And I'm seeing leaders out there, not just in the mortgage world, but every world, where they're crumbling. They can't handle it. You all already had that foundation. You all already do that with your referral partners, your teams, again, all the way up, Brandon, Jimmy, and past that. I feel like Freedom does a fantastic job, really an amazing job of making sure that we all feel good about what we're doing and that they check on us and things like that. I just wanted to give a shout out there, and that Brandon didn't tell me to do that, so I wanted to give a shout out. What do you guys think about the people who are afraid of what's going on in the industry? If you listen to the news right now, you see there's a lot of doom and gloom, which is one of the reasons why I try not to listen to the news. What are you seeing in the marketplace itself? Juan?
Yeah, I think the marketplace is. We're still moving forward. We're still, it's funny. Brian and I were talking about this earlier today. We're still getting leads. We're still getting people that have to move. There are still people that have to move and have to sell. They're still getting refinances.
As there always will be.
As it always will be. We're still seeing refinances. There are some people that have higher rates and a lot of cash out refinances. And Brian, you can touch base on the cash out refinances and how that's helping a lot of our clients.
Oh, someone sitting on the equity, our best advice now is to cash out while we're at a historic low interest rate, right? Pull out the cash now and put it into a certain market, whether it be stocks, bonds, whatever it to be, or even real estate, build wealth and borrow the money at such a low interest rate, create that wealth for your family, and you'll be better off tomorrow.
Agreed. All right, so I ask everybody this question that comes on the show, especially during quarantine time. What are you doing personally, completely aside from work?
Oh.
What are you doing personally to stay grounded, to stay focused, to stay positive and creative? Bryan?
I'm staying with a schedule, but in my schedule, which is the best thing that I've incorporated, was the extra time with the kids and the wife. That extra, those memories you'll never get back. So I'm really hamming it up with that stuff. Work for an hour, play for a half hour, work for an hour, back and forth, go to the yard, throw the ball around, stuff like that. With the hours that we put in, I'm truly taking advantage of that right now, because who knows when we'll ever have it back.
Love it. How about you, Juan?
Man, this guy, he's the man. He's killing it today, Ted. Killing it. I love it.
Don't let me go first.
I'm just trying to play it off. I don't know.
Yeah, follow that. No, definitely the family time has definitely changed the dynamic in my house, and also the health wise, right? We always, before this, we had a group that we always met up and went to the gym together and try to keep us motivated. Right now, that it's very changed we have to adapt to it. So health is very important. Getting into a routine about health, eating the right things. I think the first 2 weeks you're just on vacation. You think it's a vacation. You're like, all right, I can eat whatever I want. I'm home. And then you quickly realize
that's the excuse we're using now. While
Yeah, it's only the first 2 weeks. That's
Okay.
trouble.
That's what happened the first 2 weeks. Then you're like, okay, that's not gonna work. So I think that's one of the changes I've been implementing.
That's awesome. If you guys happen to see the kids show that we did, the number one thing that every child on that show talked about is how they are happy to have their parents home.
Yeah.
And I know everybody thinks it's the opposite, but in reality, that structure, that foundation, that closeness, once we go back to whatever the new normal is, I think it's the kids are going to have so many amazing memories.
It's a beautiful thing that you'll never get back. My 8-year-old came up to me the other day and said, "Wow, I didn't realize you work like that. You really work."
You work, right?
We work.
They love that closeness, because our industry, of course, we're out a lot. We do a lot of functions. So part of our worlds is being away from home a lot. And the kids absolutely love it. And I asked them, kids will tell you the truth. Nobody was coached. Every one of them were so happy that mom and dad were home together and that everybody was kind of going through this together. And then the amount of extra time that parents are spending with their kids, it's just so important. So
Definitely.
All right, well, you guys are a joy. See how easy that was?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was great. That was quick.
Thank you so
So
much.
how do people reach out to you? How do people, if they want to talk about, if you have realtor partners that want to reach out and say, hey, I'd like you to work with my buyer, or if you have somebody who's interested in a refinance, what do they do?
My cell is 718-664-7530. It's glued to my hand. That's the best way to communicate with me.
Absolutely. Same here. Text me, call me. If I'm on a Zoom call, just text me. 347-446-6771. You can also text Juan to 36260. You'll have my application. You can schedule a call, schedule what you need for your clients. It's all there for you.
You guys are a joy.
Ted, thank you so much.
Thank
you,
you.
Ted. Very,
so
very
proud
honored.
to be on the
Thank you.
team with you. You guys are awesome. It's so great to see you. I can't wait to give you guys a hug in person whenever that is. But
Definitely.
Thanks for all you do for the home team. Appreciate you both.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Bryan.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.